Welcome back to another episode of Let's Go Hunt, coming to you live from the newly minted Banana Republic of Samius. We have Mike Gonzalez, meats back on the menu, Dave Packard, dark theme or GTFO, Sam Alexander, homemade tomato soup with cream, and here for your souls because I'm death incarnate, Vince H. That's not what I wrote, but whatever. Around the campfire, things that burned, and other miscellaneous topics on this Tuesday evening. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining us. It's nice to see you.
Let's go.
Look, I'm having trouble still, okay? You might have noticed I was sick last week, and I am still sick this week. Kind of.
I thought you just went to Brazil for a bit. Got you a larynx operation.
You don't sound as much like a guest speaker this time.
It's not as bad. Last week was bad.
Yeah,
this time it's just like I try to talk, and sometimes it just goes.
I hate when that happens.
But you
Like,
can do
if
the
I try
Jewish
to do
grandma,
anything
though.
high pitched, like if I try and I don't know, I make fun of my son and I'll just go like, and it just doesn't. It does not go up there. I have to dog down here or nothing happens.
And the dog's over there like, what'd you say to me?
Apparently nothing.
Nothing at all. Thank you, Dusky. Appreciate it. That's what I was going for, actually. So I'm, on point.
So I have a tale for you all.
Dude, that's weird.
Yeah, I know.
Were you born with it, or
yeah, it's supposed to be Bob's at birth, but there it is.
Is it from hanging out in Ukraine?
Was it surgically removed and it's sitting in formaldehyde now?
No, that was the front part of him.
Funny you should mention that. That's my head.
Oh, it's a rat tail. Oh, he's gone full redneck.
Oh God!
No,
we bullied a kid in elementary school for having a rat tail and got in trouble for it.
Oh my goodness! I just watched Tucker and Dale versus Evil today. It's like, Chad, we know the secret. You're half hillbilly.
Such a great movie.
I was missing that in my life, I think, actually.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty
You
good.
were.
Yeah. It's pretty good.
I have yet to see it, but it's on my list. Now that it's on Prime, that is...
We've had a doozy of a day.
He just threw himself into my wood chipper.
These college kids, it's a suicide pact. They just keep killing them. I know that's not the exact phrase, but they just keep killing themselves.
If you haven't seen it, you need to.
We got your friend.
No, what you missed was that part was carved into a log with an axe, and it looks really like sinister. It's like, college kids, we have your friend, and it's
oh God. So I've Mandela affected myself into thinking that when I remember that scene, they're standing on top of the boat, waving, yelling, "We got your friend."
No, that part comes later. I was waiting for it. I was like, oh, there it is.
Damn, I ruined it for you. False expectations.
Expectations at all.
Your tail.
Cautionary tale.
So
I went to I wanted to make another beaver leg Mississippi pot roast tonight.
Yeah.
And while this may be patently obvious to most people, it did not occur to me that leaving the meat in the game bag and throwing it in the freezer was a really bad idea.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Especially because I never actually got it cleaned out in the first place on that leg, it turns out.
Was that the
stuff. What I must have done, and I don't remember doing this, but it all adds up finally, is I must have gotten home and the following day gotten I think it must have gotten half that beaver and the back straps all cleaned up. And then the other half went, oh, I'll take care of this tomorrow because I got busy. And then it sat in the freezer for however many months. And it smelled a little bit like dog kibble.
Oh.
Yeah. So
was it like a cloth game bag?
It is one of the reusable synthetic bags.
Was
Anti-
it
First of all,
Antimicrobial.
it mummified the meat kind of because it sucked all the bunch of moisture out of it.
okay, that's what I was wondering. Like, yeah, you freeze dry that thing in there. Like that's Uzi
That's
the
well, there's
Iceman.
parts of it, but then I
Or-
also think the fact that I never actually cleaned it after I got home, so it still had little bits of grass and little bits of fur stuck to it. It just turned the whole thing kind of funky.
Uzi the Ice Beaver.
Show title. So yeah, that was not fun. I'm disappointed about that in myself, but now I know. Don't
did
do
you
that shit again.
Did you try it in the slow cooker?
No,
Or did you
it was an obvious lost cause.
okay.
Like I pulled it out and was like, oh, this looks wrong. And then I tried it and it didn't smell good. Like I said, it smelled kind of like dog kibble. And so I trimmed it up and got it down to like, not desiccated meat, and it still had a very off smell.
That reminds me of last week when I was like really sick. I got a bag of what is it? T-Ray's barbecue chips from the gas station.
Mm.
And I was eating those and like these taste vaguely of old refrigerator.
Or like tortillas that have been left in the plastic bag too long. They
Like
start
I was
tasting
eating them, was
fresh.
like this tastes like this is bringing up old memories, like granddad's refrigerator that really didn't work, but there was still stuff in there. You opened it and it just had that smell. Yeah,
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Yeah, so we ended up having a crane dinner instead, but I'm sad. I
That-
thought
you
about
you won.
Hmm?
You won.
yeah, I mean, I thought about just like nut pedal the metal, see what happens, but it's like, this isn't going to turn out.
Dude,
It
sometimes
won't
if
smell
you
right.
don't take your foot off the gas, you end up careening
Sideways
off
on a
cliff.
hill at 21
Right.
degrees in your truck, about to tip over, thinking you're about to die, like me.
I mean, 21 degrees ain't that bad, but I could see
It was
where
pretty
your fear
fucking
comes
bad.
from. I could see where that would be scary, though. I'm not making fun of you. Like off-roading wise, unexpected. Let's put it this way: an unexpected 21 degree slant could be
Unexpected
very
21
scary.
degree slant, and it keeps sliding.
Yeah, that I could see that being like if you're doing it on purpose and you expect it to be that steep and you're not sliding, you're just climbing. I guess there's major difference. So
It wasn't
Yeah.
climbing; it was
no, that's what I'm saying. The difference between your slide and like
we gonna
actual
roly poly.
off-roading on purpose.
Intentional versus unintentional.
Yeah,
I almost needed one of those stickers
Depends.
that said, if you can read this, there's a problem. Or no, they say like problem
It
it
upside
says
down. with a
problem, no
note.
problem.
Yeah, I needed one of those.
I'm gonna get
It's
one
a
of those
Jeep
and
thing.
put it
You
online
wouldn't
and just put it
understand.
vertical. I'm gonna get one of those too.
No, you should put it on your undercarriage. Then it's an actual problem because the only way you can read it.
No,
is
I
if
should
you
put
see
it's a
the
Jeep
bottom of
thing.
the
You wouldn't
car.
understand. Put that on my undercarriage so that only Jeep. Oh yeah, he's right.
no, you need to write that on the oil cooler on your Pennstar 3.6 liter V6. Like it's a Jeep that you wouldn't understand. Just like write that on there for the mechanic to see. He'll get it.
And then you need to get some rubber ducks
3 people understood that.
and decapitate all of them. Oh, you should
Vince.
start doing that. You should start leaving decapitated rubber ducks on Jeep owners' Jeeps.
That's fucking sadistic. I like it. Damn it.
I'll
I
hook
had
you up with some
something and you
fake
got
blood.
me.
I'll hook you up with some fake blood. You can dip the neck stumps in.
We got your ducks. All these ducks keep killing themselves.
Recreate Tucker and Dale versus Evil with stop motion animation and rubber ducks. Brilliant. Yeah. So, if you're new out there like me, don't leave meat in the game bag and put it in the freezer and forget about it for 3 months. Bad idea.
That's a good idea. Then you could figure out what the mummies taste like.
You know, that is the
Eat 'em. They powdered them up and like fucking smoked them and snorted them.
that is the benefit of like just taking your quarters of your animal and putting it in like an unscented trash bag, because then you can just take that, wrap it up, and put it in the freezer, and
Mhm.
you don't have to do anything else with it until you're ready to cook it.
Fair.
I suppose I don't blame it all on the bag, though. I also blame it on the fact that the meat wasn't cleaned off after,
Like, what do you mean cleaned off?
like it had
What
lots
was
of
on
bits of grass and fur stuck. Well, not like big clumps of fur, but hair and grass stuck to it. And
That
dirt.
doesn't do nothing. Just wash that off.
I blame it all on my roots. That I showed up.
You showed up in boots.
Vince, what happened to you
Ruined
today?
your black tie affair. What happened to me today?
Yeah,
Well, I had
you got
I
an
had
early
a
start.
doozy of a day. Yeah. So some people may know I live in Oklahoma, and Oklahoma has a certain reputation for inclement weather. I got woken up at about 5:20 in the morning with a sound like a hurricane outside my bedroom window, and hail, lightning that was rolling enough that I could just see outside. I did not have to wonder what was going on out there. And my kid showing up at my bedroom door going, "Dad, is there a tornado?" Which normally doesn't happen. These kids kind of sleep through everything. We had a very fast moving line of storms come through at about 65 miles an hour with, radar indicated rotation, heavy hail cores, and all that kind of fun stuff. And my house is fine, but I got to work, and the town that I work in actually got hit by a tornado that was confirmed late in the afternoon. Ada, Oklahoma got hit by a tornado.
Dang.
And it's currently rated as an EF1. There is no fatalities reported.
Well, that's good.
I happen to pick possibly the only unobstructed way into town from where I'm at on the way there. And I get to work. There's no power. Kind of an interesting day there. Apparently, the 7-ton AC unit sitting on top of the building got ripped off. And when it got flipped over on top of the building, it pulled off chunks of the ceiling. So the second and third stories kind of flooded. And we're not expected to have power for maybe a couple of days. So yeah, I was out doing my thing and came across a hot wire sitting on the ground and had to call that in because it was starting a fire. Yeah, that was an interesting little bit, but it's been kind of sporty around here. Lots of trees down, stuff. Local volunteer fire department got as far as we can tell, straight line winds pushed that building over, but the local volunteer fire department building got kind of crushed. I don't know what else to say about it. But
I mean, the building itself kind of looked like one of them tents that I saw in the desert all those years ago. That just looked like, I don't know, was it better constructed than that? Because I'm not trying to knock it. I just, from the wreckage and the picture, it looked like
looked like a steel frame, tin roofed, tin sided building, possibly uninsulated. It's hard to tell. I actually drove by it today, but I was kind of spacing out whenever I drove by it, and I forgot to look. Yeah.
I swear there was a building there yesterday.
No, what is missing?
Well, I drove by and I got to my turn and it was like, oh dang, I forgot to look at it.
I hate when that happens.
God dang it.
Yeah, so town actually got. I was supposed to go have an alignment done on my truck, but they didn't have power, and there's power lines down everywhere. And that was the main concern, is just power lines down. It didn't seem like too much structural damage. It very much seemed like there was a tornado that kind of touched down and then kind of hopped
Mhm.
a little bit, because there was widespread damage, but nothing like a definitive path of destruction.
Yeah.
Oh, so the news lied to me because the headline definitely said path of destruction.
Yeah. Like,
It's more like a wandering trail
Yes.
of destruction.
Hopscotch, if you
I
will.
hate when the
A
news lies to
hopscotch
me.
of destruction.
A hop, skip, and a jump of destruction.
Generally, yes.
A hop,
But
scotch
so,
of
yeah.
Okay, we can.
Navigating all that nonsense was my day today. Got up early because the kids got up. Apparently, okay, so my son and daughter woke up, and she asked him what's going on. He's like, "There's a tornado." And then they came running to our room, and my daughter was like crying, and because my son decided to tell her that there was a tornado whenever he had no idea.
That was wise of him.
Yeah.
Which
Thanks for
is
that, bud.
fine. I'd rather him tell her there's a tornado and they run to shelter than
yeah.
if there is a tornado. He's like, nah, that's fine. That's normal. That freight train outside runs by every night. But yeah.
Well, I'm glad it wasn't a tornado over you, at least.
Yeah. Now the only thing I could see that happened is it pushed our chicken tractor, which weighs about 300 pounds, about 15 feet or so, because we just got straight line winds right here. But which is okay, it's kind of a feat to do that because it takes considerable effort on my part to move that chicken tractor, especially when it gets stuck down in the ruts for the tires. But I'm just glad it didn't tip it over. And what do you stop that? I am not Dorothy. This is not the Wizard of Oz. We are not in Kansas.
Dave
Well,
drew a wonderful little picture of a home and a tornado. Oh, now he's erasing it. Oh,
No,
it's a twister. It's a twister.
He's a nice little tornado. He's a pleasant little tornado.
Should have drawn a cow with it.
Moo.
same cow.
You sure?
No, that's cool. Let's see here. Speaking of beaver, before I get too lost in the weeds here, I
Nobody
went
was
up.
speaking of beaver.
I was before we talked about tornadoes. Remember,
Oh,
or did you goldfish that one already?
dude, goldfish.
That is what kind of cracker you are.
Got it.
Before the show, we were all discussing what kind of crackers we were. Sam is a oyster cracker. I am a club cracker. Vince is a what were you, Vince?
A Triscuit.
We said Triscuit. Vince disagreed.
I
Well, it's
insist
3
that I
versus
am
1.
a
He's a Triscuit.
I insist that I am a Walmart brand multi-grain club cracker.
Yeah.
That sounds like a Triscuit to me, but
You don't know crackers.
oh, I know crackers.
You don't know.
Mike is a
If you
goldfish.
don't know the difference between a Triscuit and a club cracker, sir, I mean, come on.
Well, originally Mike was an off brand, so generic brand, so like a knockoff Ritz, but one of like the garlic herb flavors that nobody likes.
Jesus.
Isn't that what
Yeah.
we agreed on?
Yes.
Something like
yes,
that? Okay.
Yes, it was.
Oh no, it wasn't knockoff Ritz. It was just normal Ritz because I go well
Okay.
with cheese, but only like mediocre cheese.
No, I said
not
knockoff
good
Ritz.
cheese.
And you're like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I go well
Okay,
with
no.
cheese.
See, the cracker Mike is the
Whiz
garlic
cheese.
flavored Coca-Cola.
Oh. Oh.
Is that
Only
the
sold in Japan.
I hate this.
Oh yeah, that'll
No,
do
no,
it.
it's ube flavored.
See, of course he had a correction for it. Of course he did. And
Hard
yes,
dark
Rhodes,
cracker.
it is a hard cracker. We don't go cracka around here. We are white. We are allowed to say cracker.
We were discussing food. I don't know what you were discussing.
That's our word.
Oh. Oh, shit.
Fuck.
It's okay. We're white too. Anyway,
About beavers.
Well,
of white-
anyway,
speaking of white guy things, I went out on another night. Well, it's supposed to be a night hike up to an abandoned mine that instead turned into a couple hours of beaver watching. Well, an hour of beaver watching because the ice has melted off quite a bit. It's not all melted off yet, and it will refreeze if we get a hard freeze go through, but enough that the little beavers are popping their heads up and swimming around and chewing on shit and all kinds of fun stuff.
Yeah,
I saw 3 or 4 of them while I was out there.
you only told me about the one.
I did.
Or,
I thought I
or
mentioned
told
more than
us.
that.
You
No, I
maybe.
mentioned more than that because there's the
Maybe you
one
did.
that I sent a video of.
Yeah.
Because I just stopped at the pond to go like, oh, the ice is melted off. I wonder if one will appear. And sure enough, around the right time, one of them went bloop, and I just watched it swim around. And I didn't have a kill kit on me or the desire to shoot one that evening, so I just watched him for a bit.
boo.
And then I wandered on downstream, and then down there saw. I was watching one that was just swimming around, and then next thing I noticed is like, oh, that lump that looks like a rock in the water, that's a beaver sitting there gnawing on something.
Nom, nom, nom.
And then either I saw the same one go down and come back up, or I saw another one pop back up over here. I'm not sure which, but yeah, the beavers are out.
So let's go
For
shoot
now.
them. Let's go get some
We are
beaver.
planning
I'm
on
ready
it,
for some fresh
But
meat.
I insist on it being a 2-man operation with the ice situation.
It is wise.
A, recovery is going to be a bitch, and B, with the sketchiness of that ice, people have drowned in doing dumber things before.
Yeah.
Sam falls through the ice, and Mike's like, "Oh, Garth, would you
Garth.
bring your boat?"
Would you retrieve my friend, please?
Oh
Garth,
no, his head's under the water now.
Right
Garth,
away, sir. Shows
Garth,
up in,
immediately,
like,
please.
The
Garth,
he's
he's drowning.
immediately there in like the old timey dive suit that's got like the brass helmet
Yeah.
on, just like
Clang, clang.
And then I went for the rest of my night hike, and then got the half. So it was dark as all hell. There was no moon out, so entire world was reduced down to monochromatic green 40 degrees in front of your eyeballs. And I hear a pack of coyotes light up in between me and the truck. I was still away from the truck. I was like, oh, lovely. And then as I'm wandering around, sure enough, I look to the left, I shine my IR light over there, and there's 6 little glowing eyeballs looking back at me. So I shoot them off with a rock and moved on with my life.
So I started blasting.
Yeah, a rock.
Not quite,
anyway.
A 230 grain rock, I'm sure.
No, that was what I was prepared to do. That's what I was prepared to do.
A mere pebble.
And then I got the crap scared out of me because there I am, minding my own business, wandering along, and about 40 yards in front of me, I see a definite human silhouette in the willows. And for
Oh.
people who don't know what willows are, we're not talking like weeping willows go draping on down to the ground. We're talking about like willows that grow next to creeks.
Willow reeds.
Waterfowl willows where birds like to mate.
Oh, is that all you think about? Or the birds like
Ducks?
to just, do it?
Well, right now the ducks are doing it in those willows.
Yeah, well, that explains all those noises. Anyway, there's a definite human silhouette up there. I'm thinking, what the fuck? But it's like, it's not like solid. It's kind of translucent looking, and it's super fucking dark out. And I got my heebie-jeebies up for a little bit. Like, oh fuck, nope. And I blasted it with my IR light, and it disappeared. And around that time, I figured out that it was my own shadow being cast by headlights about 3 miles behind me. But there was a brief moment where it was like,
Sam's on a night hike. Got noped out of there by his own damn shadow.
It won't
Hey,
die.
Now.
You had to be
empties his
there. That's
pistol
all
at
I
it.
gotta say. You had to be there.
It just stands there after he empties his pistol at it and then vanishes.
I talk shit, but I have also been by myself in a garage and the air compressor kicked on.
Oh. One of my favorite stories of my grandfather is where he grew up in South Africa, and not South Africa. Anyway. Oh no, god damn it.
Oh, not South
I'm
Africa.
stuck. I'm stuck on the
He's confusing South Africa with South Carolina.
I'm stuck in the goddamn
America.
details. Regardless, he grew up he was born in Africa, and we went and visited the house that he was born in. He was telling us his story, and he was born in 1929, and so this is the early 30s. He's telling this story about. He said he'd come out of his room to go down to the outhouse, or I don't know if it was indoor plumbing at that time or not. But he looked up and he saw this pale white face like 30 feet away in the mirror or at the end of the hall. And he panicked, freaked out, dropped the candle, ran back in his room and hid under the covers, and also didn't have to pee anymore. The next morning he wakes up, he comes out of his bedroom and looks down the hallway at the mirror installed at the end of the hallway and realizes it was his own face lit by the candle that he saw at the end of the hallway, and pissed himself over.
But it was a white face. Why was he scared?
That's where he was born in Portugal. Damn it, that's where it was. It was a vineyard in Portugal outside Porto.
I was about, wait a minute. You went from fucking Portugal to South Africa?
See, I got real confused in the spur of the moment, but yeah.
I'll say it's a big jump.
Yeah. It was a vineyard in Portugal that his sister ran until she was over 100 years old, and then I think she recently passed like a couple of years ago. Yeah. But yeah.
This reminds me, so when I was a little kid, we had this hideous monkey mask, this rubber fucking monkey mask. It didn't have any fur on it. It was just this hairless, hideous ass monkey mask. Anyway,
plot twist: it was made from a mold from his face.
Well, my head wasn't that big back then.
Enlarged.
Anyway, my brothers used to scare the shit out of me with that thing. So one day, I decided I was going to get them back, and so we had like the marble tower you can build. It's like a little plastic tower. You drop a marble down it, and it trails around. I had one of those, and I built a little like stick figure out of it. And then put the monkey mask on it at the end of the hallway. And then we were leaving. So I got out of the house and nobody noticed. Guess who got the shit scared out of him coming home looking down the dark hallway that night? Yep. Nice. I remember that very vividly. But no, that same old thing. Scared by my own. I mean, to be fair, it's dark as fuck. That was right after dealing with that was right before dealing with the coyotes, maybe. I don't know. Either way, are a little bit on edge because it's like, it's really fucking dark out. There's coyotes in the prowl somewhere. And even though, coyotes don't eat people on the regular, I still want to be cautious. And then, there's a fucking ghost up in the goddamn willows. Like, and then, that explains how, that tells you how fucking dark it was, though. I had a shadow cast from 2 miles behind me by a pair of headlights.
Those are some good.
That is intriguing, though, and also interesting that you can see that in the glasses as well.
Well, in the night vision goggle, I mean,
in the
they draw all kinds of light in. But yeah, so anyway,
that's cool.
Like I said, it was just faint enough. And nope. If there was a moment that was like, so anyway, I start blasting, that would have been it. Like fucking Predator out there.
Yeah, a lot of good that did him.
Well, then it would have been just like the movie. If it bleeds, we can kill it. Is that blood? I don't know.
Sam randomly pulls out a really cheap disposable razor and like holds it to his face in fear. Sam, why are you shaving right now? Predator. He can smell that,
Yeah, Tandem Dooley says, make sure you get your GunCon tickets. We did it before the show.
Make sure we mention GunCon. We are going to GunCon, guys. At more than just me this time. Meet the people you wanted to meet. But in reality, you got me.
I'm going to
Sorry.
announce this now while I'm remembering it, and we will continue to talk about this as we go forward. If you are also someone who listens to the We Like Shooting show or is aware of it, and aware of one of the co-hosts on that show named Jeremy, who always claims he's like 7 feet tall, really I think that's only with a Cuban heel. We have Operation Measure
You
Jeremy.
roboted out on his actual height, and I thought that was pretty funny, actually.
5'7". He's a little guy.
It's not
He wears
5'7",
stilts.
ding dong.
Turns out he's a drywaller. Anyway. It's like a graffiti I saw in a porta potty one time. Had to shit so bad I could holler, just gave birth to another drywaller. Anyway, Operation Measure Jeremy. We'll talk about this in the future, and I'm going to have a sticker made for it. If you can successfully measure this oversized human without him noticing, you get a sticker.
And if you can do this without getting murdered,
I'd also get a bruise or two. I mean,
that's your fault.
Like
if you go in for that kind of thing, then have at it. But
we just don't want him to kill you.
I mean, they'd get us some all news or no publicity is bad publicity.
The word you're looking for is street cred.
Yeah, there you go.
So anyway, the street cred is that GunCon's in Cleveland, and I mean, I've never been to Ohio, so.
Oh yes,
Cleveland.
rodent height. Yes, we're measuring Jeremy's height. We're not measuring anything else about Jeremy that you might have conceived.
I mean, if you could give me those measurements and, if they're accurate, you'll get 2 stickers.
Oh, Rodent said something else pretty funny about me in there somewhere, but it's not as funny as if I read it.
I don't remember.
Something about Austria. Good day, mate. Mike, probably. I'm from Austria. Good day.
Girth.
Oh, girth.
No.
Measure
Jeremy's girth.
Nope.
Gross.
I am exercising my veto on that one.
Anyway, so now we'll be at GunCon. If you don't know what GunCon is, it's like Comic-Con, but for guns.
Go to guncon.net, get your tickets.
But if you show up wearing a hentai costume, Mike might want to fuck you.
That's entirely probable. Don't do that.
Gross.
At least wear a hen shirt with your hentai.
What? No, I don't want to know. Moving on.
So we can find out which came first.
Mine, obviously.
Only if they ask about the Prado.
You people are so.
I need a shirt that says "Ask me about my Prado."
I can't believe you're going to drive that fucking thing to Cleveland.
I was, and then I got real.
It's only $900 in diesel. Fuck.
It was 500. It was 560, and I didn't realize that airline tickets would be that goddamn cheap.
See, the problem is though, you're not calculating how much diesel you're going to burn coming back uphill. Going 55 miles an hour.
Listen,
and you can't pass anybody.
I mean, that's like when we took our Volkswagen van again out, east, and you get down at sea level, and suddenly that thing's got a little bit more zip to it. You're like, oh wow, it can drive. And then you get back up here in the mountains, and pretty soon, you got to turn around if you get stopped going up a steep hill.
I think my path takes me around the Ozarks, so I think I'm pretty well on level ground. Heading up there.
Now I'm gonna fly.
Yeah.
Screw driving.
Right.
I wanted to avoid flying, but oh well.
I hate airports.
You probably don't even have a big airport. You've probably got like a little like.
It's an airport hair care and tire center.
No, that would be Ohio.
Well,
last time I was in Ohio
to see Cleveland's airport hair care and tire center.
I mean, the last time I was in Ohio, we stopped at a gas station, and across the street was a combination tanning salon and laundromat.
Sounds
it was called Suds and Sun.
Man, Ohio sounds all right, actually.
Oh, you need a tan.
Now, Will Rogers World Airport in Oklahoma City is a decent sized airport.
All right.
There's also one in Tulsa. If I had my own private plane, I could fly out locally because there's a local airport. But don't got that kind of money.
Well, if we all start walking, we can get there on time.
I think that's the cure to male loneliness.
Yeah, you'll make it.
Just
I won't
start
make it
walking
outside
now.
Colorado.
It worked for Forrest Gump.
Man,
Look, Forrest Gump had good knees.
Lieutenant
In
Dan
fact,
didn't.
No, he didn't.
imagine
Mom
it
said
being
these are my magic
1851.
shoes.
Imagine it being 1851. You're like, man, I'm feeling down. I'm just gonna go walk across the country, see if I can find gold somewhere.
Well, somebody did it. I mean, if you're talking about the 49ers, most of them didn't actually cross the country on foot. Most of them sailed down to Panama, crossed over there, and then sailed back up. That was the most popular route to get to California in the early 1850s.
Oh,
That
like
sounds
they
like the easiest.
they
too,
walked
sit on
over
a
the
boat most
isthmus?
of the time.
Yep, you got on a boat, you sailed down, to the narrowest point of Panama where they dug the canal, or nearabouts. You walked over the top, got on the other side, got on another ship, and then sailed up to San Francisco. And there was an ongoing problem with merchant ships and also the U.S. Navy up there at the time, although there wasn't much of a naval presence. Ships would get there, and then the crews would desert to go prospect for gold. So you'd have ships with you had all these ships and no crews.
Oops.
Mm-hmm. So anyway,
Fun stories.
somebody brought it up. I can't not mention it.
I'm not being sarcastic. It sounds like it. That's just my resting sarcastic voice.
Mm-hmm. I cannot remember. Oh God, it's a name that pops up a lot in the Civil War afterward.
Andrew Jackson.
No.
Ulysses S. Grant.
No, it's not Grant.
The
Although
Battle
was
of
it
Shroot
Grant?
Farmers.
Grant was sent out to California before the war.
James
Grant?
West.
Crap. Either way, there's also there were a lot of army desertions around that time, and there's a one again. It's a name that pops up a lot. I can't remember off the top of my head, so it'll occur to me probably 2 hours from now. Of an officer talking about how uncouth and dreadful it was that the officers had to make their own food because all the enlisted men had deserted.
That's
It's like,
Aw.
oh, poor guys, they had to make their own food. The guys who got rich off that gold rush were the guys who sold the shovels, though, or delivered the mail.
Well,
So if you're
anyway.
going to get involved in a gold rush, sell tools to the guys looking for gold. Don't go look for gold yourself.
that story makes me angry on levels.
I mean, nothing's changed.
Several of them.
Exactly. That's why that story makes
Except
me
for these
angry on
days,
levels.
Instead of enlisted personnel making food, it's the on-base Taco Bell. This the subway trailer that they shuttled over to Kuwait before the invasion.
Oh, the Burger King trailer was the best. The burgers
Yeah.
were absolutely
all
atrocious.
the Pakistanis and Kuwaitis we hired to run the Burger King trailer left. Now we have to make our own hamburgers.
Man, not to do this too often, but this sounds like an episode of South Park.
Simpsons did it.
Probably.
Damn
All right.
backs.
From the future.
Oh,
Bye, Dave.
Oh,
that wasn't
bye,
Dave.
Sam.
Sam
Yeah,
just
yeah.
Sam just yeeted himself.
Yes, he did.
Bye, Sam.
So anyway, I don't know. I'm gonna talk about a couple things for a little bit while I still have a voice.
I
Mhm.
think you should. I wanna
Last
hear
week
about
I was gonna talk about this. This is the Ruger Mark IV that I got, and I finally got the suppressor that was coming along with it. This is an Atlas Defense
it. Ooh.
Copus, and I've actually been out shooting this a little bit, and I mean, I kind of like it. It's sleek. It looks really nice on the Mark IV. But the one thing I realized is I understand why the Silencer Shop Mark IV that they had an exclusive on is a 3-inch barrel, because some supersonic ammunition is still supersonic through the 4.5-inch barrel. And so I realized the Federal Auto Match, about half of them are supersonic. So it's like right on the edge there. That some are supersonic. The CCI Blazers or Blazers, whatever, those seem like they are subsonic, but definitely the CCI standard velocity are subsonic. So that's what I've run through this so far. I've actually had multiple people shoot this so far, and it's really nice. And I also took the took this and I put it on my
Motherfucker.
no.
Whatever you're doing, you got to restart for the. We'll have to edit it back in because I got booted out of fucking StreamYard. I do not know why. I just had to restart my internet. So I
Oh.
need to put a note real quick that says we're gonna cut off the. We're gonna have to edit the show back together at the 39-minute and 40-second mark. Hang on 1 second. Technical difficulties.
Oh,
That's weird.
Reconnect at 41:30. Okay.
All right.
Please
Well,
continue.
I
My
will
bad.
go back over this slightly. So this is my Ruger Mark IV. Sorry to the live viewing audience. I got the suppressor for it. It's an Atlas Defense Copus, and I've been shooting this a little bit. And I was talking about it a little bit. I realized the reason the Silencer Shop is a 3-inch barrel is because the 3-inch will probably get you subsonic with all 22 long rifle ammunition. Some is still supersonic through this. Whereas with the rifle suppressor that is, user serviceable so that you can do so that you can clean it, it seems like it doesn't matter as much, but it's like comparatively the amount of internal space, it's huge. This is kind of small. It's 5 inches long and weighs 2.5 ounces. The other one is 7 inches long and is near a pound. But Federal Auto Match, about half of them are supersonic, and CCI standard velocity, all of those seem subsonic, and also the CCI Blazer sounded pretty good. I've had a couple people out shooting this, and it's been really nice. I've actually liked it a lot. I also took this and I put it on my Ruger American 22 long rifle, stainless steel bolt action rifle, and I shot that just a little bit with the standard velocity, and I swear the bullet hitting my backstop was louder than any sound that the rifle made.
That's nice.
It
Mhm.
was yeah, earlier I think it was Rodin said that he's got a Mark III and it's a pain in the butt to take down. Yeah, the main thing that the Ruger Mark IV did is watch this. There's a button on the back and you push the button and then it comes off. Okay? This would have taken an hour with
Yeah.
like a Mark III. And anything before that. It's just ridiculous. But and there look, it's back together. There we go. Yeah. The Mark IV, they did good with that. My dad and brother were here this past Sunday, and we went out and shot a little bit, and they both shot it, and that was fun. But I think the most interesting about that little range trip was my dad recently picked up so it was an Ivor Johnson break open revolver. So it, had the little break open at the top
Oh,
strap,
Mhm.
chambered in
That little thing.
38 Smith & Wesson. And that was kind of a fun little revolver to shoot. It's a single action, double action revolver from like the early 1900s. And the 38 Smith & Wesson is not a whole lot of pistol. It's not a whole lot of cartridge, but this was a small little pistol. It was a little 5-shot pistol. And oh yes, the moistness of my voice gathers those to us.
It's all that phlegm.
We didn't know we were moisting.
Yeah. So it was an Ivor Johnson 5-shot revolver, and I actually shot it pretty good. Okay, at about 5 yards or so, I was shooting like a 3 or 4 inch group, which surprised my dad. He's a little bit shakier on the hands than he used to be, but the most fun of that was, while we were shooting it, my backstop is made of tires filled with sand. And we were looking at, our groups and everything, and I'm realizing these bullets are stuck in the tires. Like you can see the bullets sitting there in the tire. And we started to realize if we shot them through more than one layer of cardboard, they would bounce off.
Dang.
And this is a 38 Smith & Wesson shooting 146 grain lead round nose. And if you put it through an extra layer of cardboard, it would bounce off of a rubber tire, which even a 22 long rifle will not. A 22 will go through it. And I just thought it was funny. And then I looked it up afterwards. It's going less than 700 feet per second. It's like 685. And you start to realize, why people, why police departments were like, this sucks.
You can get air guns going faster. You can hunt with air guns going faster.
I made that exact comparison to my dad. Like, Dad, I'm pretty sure you can get an air gun that's more powerful than this. But
you can actually use an air gun to kill a turkey. You can't use that to kill a turkey, it sounds like.
It was a fun revolver to shoot,
like,
though.
I bet it was fun.
The most fun part, though, is I had my son shoot it, and he's 10, and he actually shot a 4-inch group with it at about 15 feet.
Good
he wasn't far away, but and the thing, I showed you all the picture of it, but the grip on it is tiny, and it about fits a 10-year-old's hand. He buried one in the dirt in front of the target just because he flinched a little bit on, I think, round number 4, but the rest of them he put right in a nice little grip. Like, hey, that's pretty cool, and that's actually that's the first center fire handgun he ever shot. But that was a little Ivor Johnson 38 Smith & Wesson revolver, and I don't know, that I was surprised at how much fun it was to shoot. It was just a neat little thing, along with it being out there with the suppressed 22, because the suppressed 22 pistol gets everybody. That gets everybody. Got the I still have the granite on here in my had my dad looking through it, and he was having a little trouble shooting his Mark II, his Ruger Mark II, and he did much better, I think, with the red dot on it, because he noted how you could actually see the red dot moving around, and like, Dad, you're moving that much with your iron sights anyway. You're just noticing it with the red dot.
Mm-hmm.
That's a tough one to really grasp. I mean, it's plain to see, but you always see it in the movies, and they always portray it in such unrealistic fashions, such as that, oh, the dot doesn't move, or the crosshairs don't move on the sniper scope, and he's just sitting there like freehanding it, and you're like, oh.
Now, my favorite is when he's got like an EOTech with a magnifier, and then they do like the camera view behind the scope, and it's like a crosshair.
Yeah.
I mean, my favorite's when they just don't have sights.
Yeah. There's
Bob
that
from
too.
Gideon Optics asked, "Is 38 Smith & Wesson different than Special?" And short answer is yes, and long answer is yes, but with more details. I think you might, do not quote me on this, you might be able to shoot a 38 Smith & Wesson through a 38 Special, but I wouldn't unless you look that up. I have not, because I don't own the thing.
You should be able to, but definitely not vice versa. 38 Smith & Wesson's a little stubby. Well, 38 Special's rim too, but 38 Smith & Wesson, it's a little stubby guy.
38 Smith & Wesson is also a rimmed cartridge. It's a design.
Well, what I was gonna say is that 38 Smith & Wesson's rim gets like, oh well, 38 Special's rim too, bozo.
Okay.
And then I was like, oh, never mind.
Yeah, it also, the Ivor Johnsons are based on the Smith & Wesson revolver design, I believe, and the barrel is kind of thin.
It's not compatible. 38 Special has a slightly larger bullet diameter.
Oh, does it? Okay.
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
so
well-
that means you could shoot the 38 Smith & Wesson through a 38 Special. You just be a little
Ting,
rattly
ting.
going down the bore.
Yeah, if it seats, it yeets. I mean, come on.
Well, it's
But-
like that was a Medusa revolver that never went anywhere, but it could fire anything that was a .38 bullet.
Oh, for
So-
just like a little pocket revolver kind of thing. I mean, it had a 4-inch barrel, I think, but it was lightweight and it was easy to shoot. It was fun, but I think if you wore a heavy enough coat, it might stop it. I mean, it
Wearing
bounced
one of
off
these
a
Let's
tire.
Go, wearing one of our LGH Camerado, I don't remember what this material you called is, but yeah, it would bounce off this. It's like gym shirt material.
Can we try it out?
Shut up. Why are you like this?
You're the one.
No,
Not
Bob,
on me,
I'm feeling
dickhead.
I'm feeling okay. The voice is just because whenever it got low, when I got sick, I started singing Old Man River a whole lot just because I really enjoyed it. Like, ooh, I don't get this very often.
Like if you started talking Cajun right now, you really do have the rasp for it.
No, this is Jewish grandma all over it. He did it perfect.
He probably could pull that off too.
Now, Mikey, you don't understand. You gotta
Oh my
get it
God.
right.
Oh my god.
You gotta get it right, and then you gotta just
Oh.
just gotta let it go, okay?
Oh, that's just atrocious. Now do a Creole.
I really cannot.
He's Cajun adjacent.
Adjacent.
Yeah, that.
Like
All right.
7th generation.
Very nice.
Yeah. You like spicy things, but barely.
Dave.
Well, as of what is it, the 4th? So 3 days ago, applications are now being accepted for the Colorado Big Game Draw, and I thought that I would take you guys through how that works online, because I don't know how it is in different places, but I know Colorado is complicated. So we'll just run through just a real quick one. I'm applying for my elk tag
I'm going to wait till the very end.
and then forget.
Yeah.
Yeah, that.
Good way to do it, I think.
Yeah, that always works. That's definitely the best way to go.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So
Oh, crap. Sorry, Dave.
look at
We're
this
both
guy.
clicking on the buttons.
I didn't touch nothing. There we go. Okay. So if you'll go to cpwshop.com, and if you don't have a big game brochure, you can go to
Or if you threw yours away, like me.
yeah. You can go to CPW, Colorado Parks and Wildlife, and you can get their online brochure. I like the online brochure because it has corrections from what they fucked up in the paper brochure. But have one of those, and then you'll go to CPW Shop, and if you don't have an account, you'll create one. And once you do create one, this is what you're going to see. These are all my preference points because I don't want you fuckers having my phone number. But so
It's
up top,
719
yes.
40.
No,
Oh, darn.
but we'll go to hunting and fishing. And since I haven't bought my small game tag yet, which is a qualifying license, I got to add that to my cart. So
Because they got to bleed you for that money.
Go residency, yes. So got to do a HIP number.
Get the fur bear.
Harvest
Get the fur bear.
information
Get the fur
program.
bear.
Do this.
Oh, this is stuff we should have done ahead
It
of time.
logged me fucking out. Oh,
Yep.
you dirty bastard. Hang on.
All right. So while he's figuring that out, Sam,
Whoa. Whoa. Yeah.
All right, me and Michael just talk about stuff.
all right. So
anyway.
we are going to go beaver hunting on Saturday. And how many do you want to kill? Like, if we get a chance,
Depends on how many depth charges we bring.
dude.
Hunting beavers is as close as a man can get to hunting U-boats in the North Atlantic while living in Colorado.
If you need depth charges, bring O-lights.
I mean, that'll get us there. I'm only interested. I'm saying we get you the one, and then we move on with life.
O-lights, the original flashbang.
I think Dusky put his actual phone number in the chat.
That's probably Dusty's actual phone number.
It probably is, and I'm
Call
still not
after
going to
11
save it.
on a Tuesday.
Let's send dick pics.
Dusty's
Does it
like,
charge
"What is
per
this?"
minute?
Okay. I'm back now. I'm good.
So you get logged in. You do have to buy a qualifying license. Qualifying license is going to be like your small game tag or small game tag fishing license combo.
Yep. Or a spring turkey, I believe.
Yeah, spring turkey.
I think it's
counts
spring
too.
turkey.
So you got to have those before Colorado deems you worthy to buy tags for bigger things.
So, resident small game and fishing combo, which is $61. Throw on a habitat stamp. Cool. 2755 in Merca.
You got to put in your hunter's education information, all that stuff.
Yes.
If you're me, you forget your number every single year, so you have to dig through your email to find the number from Texas and hope you don't lose it the next year. And punch all that in.
Go. Oh, there it is.
Apparently, Dave has lost the United States.
Stupid. You got to go through a whole rigmarole of shit. Yeah, yes, I do.
The state of Colorado now only recognizes Canada as a valid state or a valid country.
I am getting a fur bearer as well. You don't have to have a fur bearer if you're just hunting coyotes, but if you want to hunt anything else like bobcats, raccoons, skunks, all that shit, you need a fur bearer. Sandhill crane because it's free. I'm not going to do the waterfowl yet. Add to cart. And they changed it up a little bit this year. Yes, I know. Okay.
And you click through.
Then you got to go through. Yes,
then
I
you
will
answer
hunt
all kinds of questions about your cracker privileges.
Yes. Did you hunt?
Essentially, it asks you if you hunted. If you hunted a bunch of geese, did you hunt a bunch of mourning doves? Did you hunt snipes? Do you know the
Oh,
word
yeah.
sniper
my.
actually comes from the bird, like the snipe, the bird? Because
It doesn't
snipes are
surprise me.
notoriously hard to kill or hard to shoot.
hmm
So a
You know-
sniper originally is somebody who hunted snipe. And if
You
somebody
know-
can hunt snipe, they're good at shooting.
I actually saw a couple of snipe this last season.
Really?
I don't know what they look like, so I
Yes,
couldn't tell you if I
while
saw
I was
them.
walking through the woods, like I walked up on a couple of occasions, and I was like, "That is a snipe! Oh my goodness!" And I know there's a season for them here in Oklahoma, but I don't. I was carrying a rifle. I was not carrying
So
a shotgun.
for
And-
reference, Mike, a snipe looks like a kind of mottled brown little sparrow was had itself forced upon by an anteater, and it gave birth to this odd baby with a really long beak.
That is exactly correct.
That is what a snipe looks like. It looks like a snipe. It
Mhm.
looks like a sparrow, a mottled sparrow, and an anteater had an unfortunate love child.
Look,
And then
Bob's
he just
right.
left over.
Okay. Until I saw one, I was like, those aren't real. I'd seen them in the magazine, and I was like, that doesn't actually exist. Until I'm walking through the woods, I'm like, that's a freaking snipe. That is a
Actually,
Son of
snipe.
a bitch. So this changed last
that is
year.
exactly what I pictured in my mind when you described it to me. That's
See, it
just
worked.
that's both atrocious that it worked and
And it makes the noise.
oh, is Kitty?
So
Kinda.
this harvest information program changed last year. Used to, you would just get your small game license, and then you had to go log on and do the harvest information program survey, and then you'll get a little number on your license that you have to write on your license. And if you did not have that, you could get a ticket. Well, now they make you do the survey before you even buy the thing, so it kind of takes
You're
that
collecting
worry
data.
out of it.
To sell to the Chinese.
But so we have our qualifying license in the cart. We'll go to buy big game license. This is where it gets good.
Does it?
And you'll have to refer to the brochure a little bit.
This is
And the
paperwork
first thing you
hell.
want to do is figure
It
out
is
what you want to
paperwork
hunt,
hell.
and then where you want to hunt. And these are all the game management units in Colorado,
They are
which
neither
is also
square
right here.
nor numbered in any order that makes
Oh.
sense to any human being on Earth.
For those not
Yes.
watching, the map he held up looked like a
It looks like the Balkan.
like a 79-year-old woman's varicose veins.
That too.
That is a excellent description.
Accurate. Yeah, and
I don't know
and
how
even
many
better,
units there are.
Like a
but
good
there's a
example
lot.
is units 3, 4, 5, 301, and 441 all touch each other.
Ooh.
So, yeah, figure out how they're numbered because none of us can.
There is a unit 681, but we do not have 681 units. So,
We do now.
but so I'm applying for elk and apply now.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I am not applying as a part of a group.
You are a group leader.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is where the
Just me,
fun
baby.
part starts.
This is where people get confused, which is
Yes. Okay, so I will share another screen
I don't know.
with yes, I know. It's just absolutely fantastic.
oh, look at Dave. He
And
doesn't want us to
it's-
know what his actual hunt code's going to be.
Oh no, I will absolutely show you the hunt codes. I'm going to show you what it looks like in the brochure when you're looking for your
Dusky
hunt code.
says that grandma's leg veins are touching each other. Sir, grandma's legs have not touched each other in the last
There.
40 years. So
There is. These are all the GMUs
Whoa.
in Colorado. Which
We got a
it's
few.
sideways because it's stupid, but
it looks like a roadmap of
up to down
Scotland.
here. Yeah. Oh, look. Perfect. Right on elk. So buffering. all the whole brochure is divided into different species. So the way Colorado works, you get 3 kind of licenses. There's a list A, a list B, and a list C. A list A you can only have one of. A list B you can have an A and a B or 2 Bs. And a list C is pretty well unlimited. Like my Plains elk tag, the over the counter, that's a list C. So I'll get one of those on top of my list A. And then I could get a list B in the secondary draw if I wanted to. But 3 elk in
Dude.
1 year is too much freezer for me.
This sounds like me trying to figure out like blood type.
Bro.
A blood type
It's-
test are easy. You
it's
just
a-
see
it-
which one separates and which ones don't.
I don't.
Wait till we-
And then you immediately have to write
we
it
get
down.
down
because you
here.
forget.
Okay.
Okay.
And then you'll be
We're-
running around with an
we're
O
loading
positive
slowly.
sticker on the back of your helmet when you're actually O neg.
There we go. Now these are all the hunt codes. So I'm hunting
So
unit
break down what. All
49.
right, so rather than scrolling down the list because people are listening, what exactly
Mhm.
constitutes a hunt code in Colorado? Like, what do you need?
So a
to
hunt
know what to
code,
punch in for a hunt code.
you need to know the species. You need to
Okay.
know the sex. You need to know what unit. You need to know what season, and you need to know what manner of take.
Okay, so that's all
So-
broken down into a very not easy to understand code, which starts off with your species.
Yeah.
Every species has a
Yes.
basically a letter prefix. So elk is
yes.
E, bear is B.
Yes. Elk is E.
Pronghorn is A.
Deer is D. Yep. Because pronghorn antelope. But
And then
so
you'll skip
you're
on to
in
your sex.
section elk, and then unit 49. Whoa. And then I'm looking for second season, so October 25th through the November 2nd, and I'm looking for a bull. So my hunt code is E-M-049-02-R, not 02. It's 02 for option 2.
Mm.
Yes. So
I mean, I
We'll
knew it was
go-
not a 0, but I always wondered what it meant.
yeah. So I'll go back here and do this again. If I could share multiple screens at one time, that would be super fucking handy, but I cannot. So
Alas.
options choice E M
For male.
049
049 is the unit.
02
02 is the season.
R.
R
So
stands for
elk
retard.
male unit 49 option 2 rifle. Confirm choices.
Now Vince left because Vince is sad that there's not an option to select young deer or young
Vince
elk.
is just sad there's not an option to select elk.
He's like, I want to select the smallest ones only. He wants
So-
special tags issued only for adolescent ungulates.
I want the BB elk deer tags. The baby
So
elk deer tag, yes.
once you submit that hunt code, then it pops up. It's got my elk point balance, and then it breaks down the hunt code. So elk antlered, unit 49, option 2, second season, rifle, add to cart.
I wandered back
So-
in at adolescent ungulates. What did I miss?
More than you would like to. No.
And that is how you do that. I didn't put in for any other choices because that's the only elk tag that I want right now. And if I don't draw it, I get another preference point. And if I do draw it, fantastic. So
It sounded like Epstein's hunting preserve.
We'll never know where that is.
it's a process. So now I got to go through bear, deer, sheep, moose, goat, and antelope. And all of these have an application fee too. It's $8 a piece just to apply.
Because we need that money.
Money, 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 money. Give us our money.
And all of that doesn't even talk about all the fancy things regarding how many preference points do you have? How many preference points do you need? What are your odds of actually drawing this tag? Is it an A tag or a B tag? Because the A tag and B tag, you can get one A tag, you can have an A plus a B, but if you have two Bs, you can't get an A. But if you have an A plus three Cs, then maybe you can't get another B.
Oh, the fun thing about C's is you can only have one at a time.
But you notice we don't have any double D.
Oh, yeah.
We don't have any double
You
D
don't have one.
tags because, that would be lame.
Yep. But
Colorado discriminates against anything over a C.
Colorado
I think
discriminates
so.
against anything with a gun.
I think
We're
that
working on
one
it.
of the most difficult things about applying in Colorado is the hunt codes and trying to make sure that you're applying for the tag that you want. Because I know, Mike, a couple years ago when you were looking at elk up by Craig, and it only took like 2-3 points to draw, and one dude drew it with 17 points on a cow tag. I'm like, that's wrong.
Yeah.
He should not have done that.
No.
But luckily, you can surrender the tag and get your points back.
Yes.
But that guy was probably like, I drew my tag. I drew my tag.
Makes it all the way out here, and then finally looks at his tag and goes,
Shit.
"Oh shit!"
That'll teach you.
And all that's going away soon. If they do the changes in 2028 that they're planning on doing, then it's all going to change again and become even more complicated.
Why wouldn't it? Why
Oh,
do we need any less complication?
And if you're doing over-the-counter archery, if you're a resident, you're good to go. But over-the-counter archery for a non-resident this year, you gotta apply.
yep.
Your
You
host.
got to apply.
I'm curious to see if
So-
that'll actually cut down on the number of people I see this year.
Kyle,
I mean,
rifle speed,
theoretically it should, but
get your application in.
I still want to. I'm still trying to figure out. I've got stuff coming up. I think I'll wait one more year because I do have that offer to go shoot a whitetail up in Michigan coming up too.
Mhm.
Whether or not I put in my elk points for a muzzleloader tag and call it a day. Because part of me kind of wants to do that, just because those muzzleloader tags overlap with the last week or last 2 weeks. They overlap with archery season, so you actually still get some time in the rut to go hunt for them. But then I also saw everybody and their mother out there with a muzzleloader at the same time, so who knows? We'll see what happens. At this rate, I'm pretty sure I'm more likely to kill an elk with my truck.
You know what we've been neglecting because it's just kind of gone to the wayside, but the pronghorn and the deer points.
I've been stacking up pronghorn. The problem with pronghorn for me is that the seasons you guys like to hunt, like more in December, that overlaps. We did that the very first year before we started the podcast. I went for the crane hunt in December and then came back and hopped right in that whitetail hunt, and it was just too much for 1 month, which is why I've been putting off anything with pronghorn, because I'm already gone to do stuff in December. Then I get back, then I'm trying to wrap up work before Christmas. My wife's sitting here going, "You can't be gone this much in December." Yeah,
We need to move it
she's nicer than
to
that.
second or third season. But I was going to look up the points. Dave, have you looked up the points in your area?
4 points for a buck.
What is it?
Yeah,
for
we could do there's 2 seasons. There's October 4th through the 12th, or December, all of December. And the early seasons are the only ones that you can get a buck tag. So
okay.
See, once again, I will be
because that's buck rut in October.
If I'm going to go to Michigan, then yeah.
Oh yeah.
Hey, he's offering to let me go shoot deer and then go fish for steelhead. So
No,
not
shit,
steelhead. Wait, steelhead salmon, right?
yeah.
See, this
Yeah,
is exactly what I did.
Feel it.
Just
Trout.
We need
That
to-
is trout. Okay, I think sitting here going,
Wait.
this does not sound right.
We need to up our fishing game.
Oh boy.
You know, I
Anyway.
tried, but I can't catch anything except fucking mosquitoes. So
Anyway. Oh no, man, we have a Navy now.
we do have a navy, but I still will probably not catch anything but mosquitoes. I'm looking forward to trying, but I'm not hopeful.
That's all we can do with our Navy is just
Blast
Well,
away
that's
dumb little birds that don't know any better, and
they
maybe
know
get a
better
duck in the
later in
middle.
the season. You were there.
We still got some though.
Well, yeah.
Like you can find some that are too
You have
dumb
an
to figure
unfair
it out.
advantage. I didn't get any because they were too dumb. I got them because I could pin them against shore. They didn't have anywhere else to go.
Yeah, too dumb.
No, just outmaneuvered. Outmaneuvered doesn't equal dumb.
Dang, Dave, did you know that 800 licenses get sold for Area 49 for buck tags?
He's not here right now. Do you
Right.
want to leave a message?
Dave, it's Mike. If you get this in the next 5 or 10 minutes before we end the show, call me back. Bye.
Believe it or not, Dave isn't at home. Please leave a message at the beep.
My dearest
I
Dave,
must be out, or I'd pick up the phone. Where could I be?
Goth.
Believe it or not, I'm not home. You people didn't watch South Park to get that, though.
I mean, I did, but I stopped watching South Park when they got real political, and it just hasn't really been interesting since.
You probably stopped watching MASH then, too.
I never watched MASH, although I liked what I saw. I just never got into it. You know what I mean?
South
First,
Park has always
4
been really political. You just woke up one day and realized it was.
You know that
did I say South
episode they
Park? I
did
meant
where
to say
Stan woke
Seinfeld.
up and everything was shit, and he's just shit on the radio, shit for breakfast, just everything is shit. Like sometimes I feel it was right in the midst of his parents' divorce.
Is this just a cry for help on your part? Because I wasn't listening. I'm sorry. What?
Moving on,
Mike, is it 2011 all over again?
dude. They sell 550 licenses for third season for Area 49. Like that's 1,400 deer out of there.
No, that's 1,400. And there's
It's 1,400 licenses they sell.
yeah, and they probably punched out like 3 of them.
This is encouraging though. Third season draws out. It looks like got a chance of drawing out with 2 points, and I have 2 points.
Anyway,
That'd be
No,
third
we have our-
season, yeah.
we have our naval arm now.
We do have the name.
Pretty soon we'll buy a drone and we'll have an Air Force.
And
then no animal stands a chance.
I have the and I can hear myself talking, so that's pretty cool. Oh, I can't anymore. I have the de Havilland Beaver that is hanging in my garage. So we do have somewhat of an Air Force.
Did you just say de Havilland Beaver?
I did.
This is perfect. It's even got the name.
It's a radio. It's one of the electric motored ones. It stays up for like 8 to 10 minutes. It's actually a lot of fun to fly. Jesus, a lot of fun to fly.
We're talking about an RC plane. Just I had one. My dad had those. Used to fly those a lot growing up. We had our own little airstrip out on the property.
Oh, nice.
Except for when we started getting it, when I was a teenager, I probably went through 4. They were like, there's a plastic body with a little skinny ass tail coming off of it, and you strap the wing on top, but the damn tail boom would always twist when I crashed them. I probably went through like 4 of those things, and then I ended up buying one used that wasn't modeled after any airplane. It was a fuselage with a gull wing on top of it, and not a gull wing. Anyway, it had the previous owner, an old guy, had cut. So it was red. It was covered in, red. He cut a little red bear, like the little label off of a Red Baron pizza, and glued it to the tail. So it was the Red Baron.
Nice. Good for him.
And then I didn't totally mangle it. I forgot how I crashed it and fucked it up, though. And it's been sitting around ever since. Yeah. You're muted.
Thanks. My dad had the gas powered ones growing up.
Yeah, that's
we
what
went out to the
that
airfield
was too. Was gas powered.
Oh, okay. We went out to the airstrip that they have at Chatfield State Park. I don't know if they still operate it or keep it maintained or whatever, but we used to go out there all the time. And yeah, I doubt it too, because the one at Pueblo, the one right by the main gate by Pueblo West, they don't maintain that at all. Could still go out there and fly if you wanted to, but
yeah, I could never get into it that much. We did mangle up a couple of gliders though, but that was never me piloting. That was him.
Dude, my dad crashed some good ones. I saw some awesome crashes. I saw a midair collision one time. Almost saw some fights. Like it was actually it was quite the crowd going out to fly airplanes.
Mike, you remember earlier this summer or last summer when we were actually going to come down here and coyote hunt again?
Yeah.
That weekend, there's a whole RC plane flying event down here.
Cool.
So you go fly planes in the day, or go shoot coyotes at night.
You know what I'm sad about?
Dude. Absolutely.
It won't be ready in time for when we go hunt coyotes in March. But I have I may have already mentioned this. I have a very good lead to turn my my truck into a technical.
Oh yeah.
Which for people who don't know, a technical is what they do over. Well, it's what more irregular, or this is what Wikipedia says anyway. Irregular or modestly, underfunded militaries do. They just strap a freaking gun pedestal in the back of a truck and drive off with it. I now know somebody who's a couple hours north of me who took like a pipe stand and welded a gooseneck for an M60 onto it and then put an adapter for a Picatinny rail and put that in the back of his Tacoma.
Nice.
And I was like, dude, and then he welded a bracket to it with 2 steel body armor plates for a shield. And I was like, I saw it on Instagram. I was like, dude, that is epic. He's like, yo, buy the stuff and I'll make it. I was like, oh yes. That's what I want to go hunt prairie dogs with now. But instead, probably tubular steel going into my gooseneck hitch because I have one of those.
Because I have a real all truck. The Hiluxes we could buy.
Yeah, but it's got to be an American version, so it's got to be a big truck.
My truck's got to be a Tacoma.
Nah. It's got to be lifted and small PP energy.
50 calco chunka.
You call it small PP energy. I call it not getting fucking stuck.
Oh, I mean, you actually use it though. Most of the ones I see around here are
They're
definitely small PP energy.
Yeah. That American penis is so small.
Mine still has mud on it from the blizzard in November because I'm like, why wash the fucking thing? It has a protective layer of dirt.
Tyrell said they're trying to get Kansas to let them use Hyrax for hunting.
Dude, fucking Hyrax would be awesome.
Yeah, that's like a little basket platform on top of a truck where you can, drive.
Imagine a roof rack that you stand on with gun mounts.
Or stand on the roof rack.
Yeah.
It sounds highly unstable. I'm in.
There's a show, I cannot remember what it is. It's a predator hunting show. And they have some of the one of the brightest spotlight setups on a high rack that I've ever fucking seen. It's so bright it just blinds everything. So like bobcats will just walk right the fuck up.
Never mind the moths.
Yeah.
Anyway. Technical truck will be fun.
Let's go murder beavers with a technical.
We can't get the truck that close to them. Also, that's hunting from a vehicle, and I'm not going to jail, so have fun.
No, but that damn law.
Yeah. No, we'll do that on Saturday.
Yeah, we will.
We got a 0 rifle. Well, not 0. I want to be OCD, but I want to triple check the 0 on your rifle to make sure that it is absolutely spot on at 25 or 30. Or at least we know what the offset should be. If you get anything other than an instant kill, it's under the ice and we'll never get it out.
You act like I've never shot my rifle before.
I don't care. I said I'm going to be OCD about it. I will be
Well,
OCD about it because if
OCD about your
misses-
rifle.
No, I'm going to be OCD about yours because I'm not fucking shooting. If it's 2 inches off or even an inch off because your height over bore at 25 because you're zeroed at 50 and your height over bore is fucking off at 27 yards by an inch and you don't brain that fucker, he's going to be gone under the ice and he's gone. And we won't fucking get him out. That's all I'm saying. Because
That's cool.
your window of shooting it in the water is about 3 to 4 feet wide.
Like,
And
that's
if he
cool,
has
but
any life left in him, he will dive, head for shore, or head home and be underneath 8 inches of ice, and he's gone. We'll never fucking get him out. So I insist.
you can insist all you want. It's my rifle.
Okay, well, I just won't show you where to hunt him then.
I know where to hunt them.
Well, we'll see about that. All right. That'll do it, I think.
Oh, what does that mean to take us away?
What?
Was that my cue to take us out?
Yeah, probably.
Oh, I didn't hear
Vince
any
is
music.
asleep
So.
down there.
Yeah, he is. Vincent, wake up. It's over, buddy. Time to go to bed. And while Vince is waking up, you should support the sport and take a buddy hunting. And if you like that buddy, tell him about our show. If you don't, wine and dine his mom. You probably already have. Remember, she likes it gentle, unless it's me. Hit us up at lghpodcast.com. Thanks for listening. Let's go hunt.
Low power mode engaged.
Yeah, I lost the show titles.
There. Did you just
we have
delete them?
Oopsie Ice Beaver and Hopscotch
It
of
wasn't Oopsie.
Destruction.
It was the name of the Iceman. Utsy the Ice Beaver.
Oopsie.
Ootsie.
We'll figure it out. Good night.
Good night.
UTZ.